Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. This is going to be a channel update, or an update, actually not even a channel update, kind of a life update. A lot of people have asked me what was going on with the movie that I had written and was directing and producing called The Director's Cut. And they were asking me a bunch of different stuff. Well, this is this is hard for me to say, but life kind of kicked me in the nuts. It kind of got in my way. You're looking at my little mountain home in the hills of southeast Kentucky. And if you've followed me for any length of time, you've seen this house before. And you know I don't live here. I live in Toledo, Ohio. This is a house that I allowed my uncle to live in for the last 7 years. Unfortunately, at 88 years old, he was just not able to live on his own anymore. Things kind of happened quickly. Within a very short period of time, he wrecked a couple of cars. He shouldn't have been driving. I'd gotten reports he'd been leaving the stove on, and there was just a lot of stuff going on. And I literally had to drop everything that I was doing and head down to southeast Kentucky to facilitate his moving to a much more safe environment. And so we found a place for him in California by one of his children. And it will be a good place for him. If you remember the reality TV show, it was shot here. The reality TV show that I was involved with, it was shot here, and you'll know who I'm talking about. It was Uncle Bill. So Uncle Bill is going on to a new phase in his life, hopefully a happy one. Although he was very happy here, he didn't want to leave. It was very sad to have to, God, I don't want to say remove him, but basically usher him into his next phase of life. It was not easy, but it was definitely necessary. And it just yeah. So anyway, so I had to drop the movie thing momentarily, and I want to stress that momentarily. But there were other things that the director's cut will. Well, I love that script, and you know, here's the thing about the director's cut. Colleen Haggerty, who is amazing. Unfortunately, her job transferred her to Texas, and she may even be in Texas by the time I get back. And that was unfortunate because we just couldn't. There was just too many things going on in order for us to finish filming that. Julia Steele, to be honest with you, her job schedule was very difficult to shoot around. Basically, she worked at night. Everybody else that could work on the film, they basically had either day jobs or were in school during the day, and in the evenings were the time that they had available to them, and it became just a scheduling nightmare. Because, you know, when you're talking about doing a film, you're talking about having a minimum of 5 people on set. And to get 5 people's work schedules in an independent production where this isn't their job, it's very difficult. I mean, I learned a lot from that, but Julia it just wasn't possible for her to coordinate her schedule with everybody else. And you can't film, especially when you're talking about, you know, there were situations like the corn. The corn was a perfect example. The corn was going to be an integral part of that farm and that story. And, you know, corn... there's different phases of the growth of the corn. I mean, at one point it's green, and then it turns brown, and then they harvest it. And so it was just, we were scheduling wise, it was a very tight schedule to try to make all that happen and have continuity. I didn't want to have one scene where the corn was green and another scene where the corn was brown and another scene where the corn was gone. It just, you know, and all this happening within the course of a day or two. It was very difficult. So Julie and I realized that she just couldn't play, and which is sad because when I crafted that script, I had 2 people in mind. It was Julia and Cambria Lee, and of course everybody knows Cambria Lee has lupus now, and she's not really she's struggling with that, and she's got her hands full. And being a film actress was definitely not something that she could make time for, you know. And we knew that going into even the start of the production of this film. So, but I had crafted 2 roles that were literally one for Julia and one for Cambria. And so anyway, it is what it is. Life gets in the way. Life happens. And I could not allow my uncle to stay here and be a danger to himself. And he was. At this point in his life, he was a danger to himself and others. He wouldn't stop driving, no matter how many times I told him to drive, or not to drive. Rental car companies were still, he wrecked he had 2 cars. He wrecked the one and the other one was in the shop, and he got out of the shop and then he wrecked that, and then he rented a car. He's 88 years old and has 2 accidents. So, I mean, maybe it wasn't in the system yet. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, he was a danger to himself and others. And he had to be removed. So I literally had to stop everything that I was doing. And, like I said, Colleen, we probably could have worked at least a short out of the director's cut. But with Colleen gone, and she was one of the main characters, there's just no way. Just couldn't do it. So when I get back, I'm gonna regroup, and I should be back in a couple of days. Well, by the time you see this, I will be back, because I have no internet here. This holler is a black hole for me. There's no internet. I can't even get a cell signal here, So when I get back, I've got a couple of other scripts that just need some polishing. I have one called The Winter's Witch that I really like, I don't know if you guys remember Sammy. She was, some of you know who she is. She's probably going to play the lead character in The Winter's Witch. And it'll be a short film. And that's the other thing too. For my first production, I chose a really aggressive script with lots of characters and stuff. And it was just hard, especially when you're talking about having a micro budget, because that's what we were working on, a micro budget. And it's just very difficult. So I think I'm going to regroup, refocus, and start working on the production, or at least pre-production, of The Winter's Witch. And then I've got a couple of other scripts, but this is something I will be doing. I will be making films. I will be a filmmaker. I am right now basically a YouTuber, but although a fairly successful YouTuber. I mean, I always like to blow my own horn, but hey, I got millions and millions and millions and millions of views, and tens of thousands of subscribers. I'm very blessed to have figured out, how to work this whole thing. So, but anyway, listen, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I want to say to Colleen, hopefully she sees this. I hope she's doing well. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, a great actress, a great model, and she will be sorely missed. But once again, life happens, and it happened for her. I mean, 1 minute she's just doing whatever, and the next minute they're like, "You're moving to Texas." So, it is what it is. I'm looking forward to meeting or working with some other people, and making it work. Like I said, it's gonna be it's a new phase for me. And as far as this house, by the way, I actually moved a friend of mine into it, and that's going to work out great, because this is a guy I've known since we were kids, and he's looking for a place to kind of retire, and this is a nice place. You want a nice quiet place? This is a nice quiet place, but what's great is I can come back here and I got a place to stay. I'm renting it to him pretty cheap, but I have a room here, so you're going to see other videos here. I'm actually in the process of at the head of the holler building a pistol range and a rifle range, and I brought some steel courtesy of shootingtarget7.com. Go check those guys out, link below. And we're building a pretty cool range, so you'll see more stuff from here going forward. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't need to make this a 10-minute long video. It's already over 8 minutes. But that's it. I just wanted to tell you that, yeah, life just kicked me in the nuts a couple of times on this deal. But the most important thing for me, at least, is my uncle is now in a safe environment, and he's being taken care of, and he's no longer a danger to himself or others. And that's the most important thing for me. So the movie went to shit on me, and the life got turned upside down, but in the end, family comes first. And yeah, I think good things are going to happen in the future. So when I do get home, one of the first things I'm going to do is order Julia Steele's camera, because her fans and myself got together and decided that she needed her own camera that was really awesome. And so we're going to get her a camcorder, so the quality of her videos will improve dramatically. And then some other stuff. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. See ya!